Welcome to Deep Cuff Channel. Russian army may face the tornado. Ukrainian Air Force will soon consolidate its superiority. HIMARS systems continue to crush Russian troops on the front line. Russia tries to stop the Ukrainian advance but fails. Explosions from the strategic port of Sevastopol alarmed the Russian army. What systems has NATO committed to send to Ukraine in 2023? With the end of the joint exercise with Russia, Belarus may attack Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced new war systems to be sent to Ukraine. According to the statement made by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the Russian army wanted to break the resistance of the Ukrainian army by carrying out 57 missile attacks on the Zaporizhzhia, Dnipropetrovsk and Kherson regions. In addition, the Russian Air Force and ground forces attacked 16 regions under the control of the Ukrainian army in their operations. According to the Ukrainian General Staff, all of these attacks were repelled by the Ukrainian defenders, and the launched counterattack targeted 15 Russian regions and anti-aircraft systems. As a result of these attacks, Russia lost 790 soldiers, 21 tanks, 5 artillery systems, 1 air defense system, and 1 multi-barrel rocket launcher. It was reported that most of the attacks carried out by the Ukrainian army were carried out with HIMARS systems provided by the U.S. Army. In the videos that appeared on social media, it is seen that the Russian troops, especially in the Makiivka region, are under an intense HIMARS attack. After these attacks, Russia, which suffered great losses, started to intensify its attacks on the Ukrainian army. According to Kyrylo Tymoshenko, head of the military administration of the Zaporizhzhia region and deputy of the Ukrainian presidential office, Russia launched fierce missile attacks on the command centers of the Ukrainian army. While most of these attacks were successfully prevented by the Ukrainian air defense systems, important news began to come from the Crimean Peninsula. According to military sources in the region, Russian air defense systems shot down an unmanned aerial vehicle in Sevastopol, one of the strategic regions on the Crimean Peninsula. Minutes before this news, local sources reported that explosion sounds were heard from the Sevastopol port. While the details of the incident are not known clearly at the moment, the Russian army took action in the Crimean region to deal another blow to the Ukrainian heroes. It is also among the news that the Russian army is trying to use heavy weapons to make progress in the Crimean region. Responding to the Russian attacks, the Ukrainian special forces played an important role in repelling the Russian troops in the region. After this event, the head of the Luhansk Oblast Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, announced that the Ukrainian army was slowly but surely advancing on the Svatov and Crimean fronts. Haidai also reported that all offensive attempts by Russian forces were consistently repelled on the Bilo-Horivka front in the Donetsk Oblast. It is claimed that the Bradley infantry fighting vehicles supplied by the USA are important in repelling these attacks of the Ukrainian army. It is among the news that these systems, which served in the 47th Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Army, successfully and timely prevented the attack attempts of the Russian soldiers. Along with armored combat vehicles, such as the Bradley, NATO has sent a large number of systems in service with the Ukrainian Army. These include Patriot air defense systems, missiles, tanks, or helicopters. Although the majority of these systems are former Soviet systems, NATO has always made us feel that it is with the Ukrainian army. In this context, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg said that Ukraine can expect more heavy weapons after asking its allies for vehicles, artillery, and missiles, which he says are key to defending itself. Asked whether Germany should take action to supply Ukraine with more heavy weapons, Stoltenberg said, "We are in a decisive phase of the war. We are experiencing fierce conflicts. That is why it is important that we provide Ukraine with the weapons it needs to win." It is very striking that Stoltenberg spoke shortly after British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak promised to supply Ukraine with Challenger 2 tanks, making Ukraine the first Western country to supply heavy tanks to Kiev. Basis of the claims on the agenda is that Germany supplies Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. Although Germany says that these tanks cannot be delivered to Ukraine in 2024, the latest news on the agenda is pleasing for the Ukrainian Air Force. Former Ukrainian ambassador to Germany Andriy Melnik appealed to the German government with a proposal to deliver 93 Tornado fighters, currently scheduled to be replaced by F-35s, to Ukraine. Need for fighter planes of the Ukrainian Air Force has been at the center of the agenda for a long time. These news, which have emerged now, indicate that this crisis will be resolved soon. Tornado series of warplanes are proven systems that have served the German Air Force for many years. It would not be wrong to say that if these warplanes are delivered to the Ukrainian army, the Russian army will be in a very difficult situation thanks to its reliability at the front. Russian President Vladimir Putin has also stepped up diplomatic contacts with Belarus to cut Western support for the Ukrainian military and increase wartime allies. This morning, Russia and Belarus launched a major exercise in areas close to the Ukrainian border. It is a well-known fact for a long time that Russia attacked Ukraine using Belarusian territory. Now this exercise is perceived as a direct threat to the Ukrainian army. Joint exercise between Russia and Belarus is expected to be completed on January 20th. Some military analysts claim that after this date, Belarus could be involved in the Ukraine war. In this context, according to Belarusian sources, Russia sent 8 more warplanes and 4 cargo planes to Belarus. While it was stated that the Russian warplanes that reached Belarus were deployed to the Baranowicki air base, no explanation was made regarding the cargo plane's load. Aircraft, most likely, came to participate in the tactical joint flight exercises of the armed forces of the Russian Federation with Belarus. But there is no certainty. In addition, Russia seems to want to change the course of the war with the new systems it will send to the front, while drawing Belarus into the war. Allegedly, Russia will send autonomous unmanned ground vehicles to Ukraine. This system, known as the Marker, was newly produced by Russian defense industry companies. There is no official confirmation from the Kremlin yet. It was known that these systems have been tested by Russia in recent years, but Russia is so sure that it will be defeated by the Ukrainian army. It has started to play all its cards. Considering the military difficulties experienced by Russia, the reason for preferring this system is obvious. Also, Russia loaded the famous torpedo Poseidon of Belgorod-class submarines on the submarine for the first time. Although this torpedo, when combined with the Belgorod-class submarine, creates a serious power multiplier for Russia, it is obvious that there are problems in the use of the system. Since submarines are at the forefront of the systems that make the biggest difference in the war, they are desired to be used in the counterattack that Russia plans to carry out next spring. I think that the Ukrainian army will take measures in response to this issue. Victory to Ukraine. We will continue to monitor the world and especially Ukraine. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.